Let's go get 'em. It's your boy Snake Eye Bonfire TV checking in. Salute to the military for dropping them bombs on that like button before we even get lit. Hey, let's get right into it, y'all. Hey, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And you might play with your kids. You might play a little football, but over here at Bonfire TV, we don't play with that like button. Smash that like button and hit that sub button. Let's get right into it. Jimmy Henchman. Let's go. Jimmy Henchman gets 2 life sentences for killing 50 Cent associate, and he writes an open letter. Just in case y'all don't know, Jimmy Henchman is the owner of Czar Entertainment. He managed people like the Game. He did a lot of industry executive type business. He also was implicated in the setup and shooting of Tupac. But let's get right into it. Jimmy Henchman is going to jail for life, and he has some things to say about it. A Manhattan judge offered no mercy to the former hip-hop boss Jimmy Henchman yesterday in court. Jimmy Henchman, born James, was sentenced to 2 more life prison sentences. He already doing life, y'all, for the murder of Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher. And if you don't know, that was a G Unit associate. But back in 2007, Lodi Mac and Tony Yayo roughed up Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son during a deadly feud between Game and G Unit was bubbling. I mean, during the time when Game and G Unit feud was bubbling. The assault made headlines that even drew protests and condemnation for the likes of Al Sharpton and the National Action Network. Both Tony Yayo and Lodi Mac were eventually convicted of the attack. Lodi Mac, who was a Bloods gang member, went to jail while Tony Yayo received 10 days of community service. Prosecutors say Lodi Mac was shot and killed in the Bronx on Jimmy's orders in September of 2009, just weeks after he was released from prison. Jimmy was accused of giving 2 kilos of cocaine to men in his drug dealing organization in exchange for the murder of Lodi Mac. In 2014, Jimmy's trial for the murder resulted in a hung jury, y'all. He was found guilty of the murders later that year, but the verdict was overturned in 2016 after the appeals court ruled the judge overseeing the trial was wrong for limiting a line of questioning to Brian McLeod. Jimmy was ultimately convicted of Lodi Mac murder in November of 2016. The case finally came to close yesterday with Jimmy's former sentence of 2 more life sentences. Roseman is also serving a life sentence for drug trafficking and weapons possession conviction. Authorities convicted him for running a $10 million a year drug enterprise known as the Roseman Organization. Jimmy apologized to his friends and family for the situation, but adamantly denied taking part in any conspiracy to murder Lodi Mac. This is America. Y'all, this is his open letter. This is America. I want to apologize to my family and my support system, Jimmy Henchman told All Hip Hop. Most importantly, to my son, when I asked you to intern as a 14-year-old at my office, it was because I wanted you to see your father working and have a strong role model. I wanted you to look up to brown and black people in boardrooms rather than in the street. I was proud of the work I was doing. I never thought when I sent you to the on that errand, you would be surrounded and assaulted by 50 Cent and 4 G Unit grown men wearing with guns for wearing a t-shirt, Jimmy Henchman told All Hip Hop. Y'all, I mean, this crazy, y'all. I'm gonna tell you this. Whatever Jimmy Henchman, did, drug ring, drug conspiracy, I mean, all that is wrong. Yeah, if you in the streets, you already know what you're facing when you're doing that type of stuff. But for to have if a grown man have his son smacked, surrounded and smacked by 4 grown men, and he can't defend himself against those grown men, and then he go back and tell his father what happened. You tell me, Bond First Military, what would you do if you're a father and your son is surrounded by 4 different grown men, bullied and smacked, and then sent back to you and it really happened on your watch. He sent him to the store or to run an errand, and he had on a Czar Entertainment T-shirt, which is Jimmy Henchman, entertainment company and management company, and he was surrounded by four grown men, smacked, humiliated. I mean, you name it, and there's no secret that James Roseman or Jimmy Henchman, that we know him by, is a real street dude. He a real gangster out there. I mean, not to glorify the life or nothing like that, but when it comes to your children, you don't even have to be a gangster to retaliate, to fly off the handle, to get into something deep. I mean, it can get escalated from 0 to 100 just that quick. You go somewhere and slap somebody's son, and that son go home crying, and you the father, man, you might black out. Ain't no telling what you do. Now, I don't think that he should have killed the man. I don't. Loaded Mac, he was convicted. I don't think he should have killed him. But man, when you dealing with street dudes, you dealing with street principles. And one thing about the street, the only rule in the streets is, and I hope y'all young people are listening, the only rules in the street is it ain't no rules. So just because you have an action. His son got slapped, but you can't tell a person how to react. You see what I'm saying? You can determine the action of what you do, but you can't determine the reaction. His reaction was allegedly he had Loaded Mac killed. I mean, but he said that he didn't do it. But I mean, regardless, I'm just saying you don't have to be a gangster to just black out and somebody do something to your child and do something heinous and violent. I mean, I don't condemn killing nobody or murder or nothing like that. I'm just saying people go crazier for smaller things than that. So when you put a child into the mix, man, it's like all bets off, man. I mean, ain't no telling what gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But y'all drop comments below and let me know what y'all think about. If somebody came up to your son or your daughter, smacked them, humiliated them, four grown men, and what would you do? You don't even have to be a gangster, a violent person to react in a way contrary to what allegedly Jimmy Henchman acted. I mean, I'm not saying murder, but I mean you at least gonna confront that person, and you don't know how it's gonna turn out. If they bold enough to smack your child, they ain't worried about you. You know, I mean, there was a lot of violence came about this. Tony Yayo's grandma house was shot up. They shot up violators' office. I mean, they said 50 Cent home was pipe bomb, burnt to the ground. I mean, it was real street beef, y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all would do. If you're new to the channel, again, like, share, and subscribe. Man, it's your boy Snake Eye, man. Jimmy Henchman, 2 more life sentences for the killing of Loaded Mac. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? What would you do to protect your child? Drop comments below and let me know what would you do to protect your child. If this happened to your child, what would you do? And how, to the extent you probably don't even know what you would do, you'll be so mad. Man, this Bond First TV, this Snake Eye, your favorite blogger. This Bond First TV, man. Make sure you hit that bell and that subscribe button. Don't play with that like button. Yes, sir.